in a world interconnected by a delicate web of ecosystems. Our planet experiences a symphony of environmental flows, from the brisk winds sweeping across continents to the life giving currents beneath the ocean's surface. These global environmental flows are the pulse of Earth itself.
Welcome to Group Nine's presentation, Harmony Unveiled, exploring global environmental flows. In the next duration or minutes, we will explore the invisible forces that shape our environment, transcending borders and weaving together the rich tapestry of life. Join us as we uncover the profound impact of these global environmental flows, delving into their role in climate patterns, biodiversity, and the very essence of our interconnected world. The question is if we're merely spectators in this grand spectacle, or can we influence the course of these natural currents? Let's embark on these explorations together and discover the awe-inspiring beauty and the fragility of the global environmental host. What exactly are environmental flows? They're the movement of water, air, nutrients, and energy that sustain life on Earth. Environmental flows are like the arteries and veins of our planet, ensuring that life-giving resources reach every corner. From rivers to oceans, from the atmosphere to the soil, these flows connects us all.
In the early days of globalization, the environment took a backseat. It wasn't until the 1980s and 1990s, with the rise of environmental movements, that the world woke up to the global impact of our actions. The depletion of the ozone layer and the specter of climate change thrust the environment into the spotlight.
The clash between economic interests and environmental preservation has given rise to a heated debate. Neoliberals argue for free trade and economic growth, while environmentalists emphasize the need to prioritize the planet. Enter ecological modernization theory, attempting to reconcile both sides and find a balance.
Philippines places 158th out of 180 in environmental sustainability ranking. The Philippines placed from one of the lowest countries in the 2022 edition of Biennial Environmental Performance Index, or the EPI. The index ranked countries on their progress toward improving environmental health, protecting ecosystem vitality.
Jared Diamond's collapse explores the role of environmental factors in societal downfall. Not all collapses are due to environmental causes, but our response to challenges shapes our fate. Effective environmental management, as seen in Highland New Guinea, can be the key to survival.
Diamond outlines major global environmental problems: destruction of natural habitats, the decline of populations, scarcity of fresh water, toxic chemicals, and the looming specter of climate change. These issues are interconnected, transcending borders with global repercussions.
My name is Mohammad Nasim G. Sharif. I am from the College of Business Administration and Accountancy, majoring in BS Economics. Um, what I can say is that the recent globalization has become improved because of the industrialization and the improvements in our modern technology. Even though there are some positive aspects in globalization, there are also negative aspects in globalization. There are some countries that can benefit from the current modernization or the globalization, and there are some third world countries that doesn't have any kind of benefits. Let's say, for example, Africa, they still don't have any modern tools to help them cultivate their farms and such.
Despite challenges and efforts to address climate change, it still persists. And yet, government and corporations grapple with economic costs. Initiatives like the Kyoto Protocol face obstacles, yet some corporations recognize the risk of inflation. A shift towards alternatives like hybrid and electrical vehicles represents a promising step into holding accountable for any damages that has taken within our environment.
So as a student, my tricot on globalization is that it is actually the system of interaction among the other countries in order for them to at least develop itself. Now, in terms of the globalization, there is actually a different categories of globalization. There is the technological, political, cultural, and at the same time economic globalization.
Exploring global perspectives, we consider the technological fixes like geoengineering. While promising, these solutions are in early stages carrying associated risks. Addressing climate change is costly, but it is essential. Environmentalism faces opposition from those prioritizing economic development.
As we conclude our exploration, the delicate balance between globalization and environmental sustainability becomes evident. The journey ahead involves navigating the intricate dance, finding harmony in the symphony of global environmental flows. For the planet's sake and ours, the key lies in our collective efforts.
Right after reading and understanding this topic, our group was able to answer questions that shoulders the major details in our topic.
How do you perceive the evolving relationship between globalization and the environment, particularly considering the shift in attention from the early days of globalization to the heightened awareness brought about by environmental movements in the 1980s and 1990s? The evolving relationship between globalization and the environment has undergone a significant transformation. In the early days of globalization, the focus was primarily on economic growth and increased interconnectedness, often at the expense of environmental considerations. However, the heightened awareness sparked by environmental movements in the 1980s and 1990s had led to a shift in attention. Today, there is an increasing recognition that globalization and environmental sustainability are interconnected. Environmental issues such as climate change, deforestation, and pollution have become global challenges that require international cooperation. Efforts like Paris Agreement reflect a collective commitment to address environmental concerns on a global scale. Moreover, consumers and activists play a crucial role in holding businesses and governments accountable for their environmental impact. This led to a growing emphasis on sustainable practices, corporate social responsibility, and the development of green technologies. In essence, the evolving relationship reflects a more balanced approach, acknowledging the interdependence of global economic activities and the health of the planet.
National Environmental Performance. In light of the 2006 environmental ranking, what do you think contributes to differences among nations in terms of environmental friendliness? Specifically, how do the environmental policies and practices of top-ranking countries contrast with those ranked lower, such as the United States? The differences in environmental friendliness among nations, as reflected in the 2006 environmental ranking, can be attributed to variations in environmental policies and practices. Top-ranking countries often exhibit a commitment to stringent regulations, investment in renewable energy, and proactive conservation measures. These nations prioritize the sustainable development and emphasize the importance of reducing carbon emissions. Contrastingly, lower-ranked countries like the United States in this context may face challenges due to a historical emphasis on industrialization and a slower adoption of comprehensive environmental policies. Factors such as reliance to non-renewable energy sources, limited regulatory stringency, and political resistance to environmental reforms can contribute to a lower environmental ranking. Addressing these disparities requires a concerted effort to integrate a sustainable practice into national policies and promote a holistic approach to environmental stewardship.